All right, so welcome everybody. This is our second webinar on, we're going to be talking about utilizing free marketing tools for your landscape business today. I'm going to welcome in, we have a couple of guests with us today. So Crystal and I we introduced ourselves in the last webinar. So I am co-owner at Outdoor Network Services. I also own my name's Jeff Duggins, I should say that. And I own the part owner in Outdoor Network Services and own a landscaping and hardscaping and pond business in the Lexington, Kentucky area. Crystal owns Ad iOS, which handles all of our digital marketing and our websites and all of that stuff for us. We're welcoming Amy Arnold today. Amy's with Night Sky Marketing. She's had several years experience doing social media marketing for H2O Designs and other companies, and currently offers reputation management and marketing services through Outdoor Network Services for us. We also have Laura Reale. Welcome, Laura. She has a marketing company called Landscape Marketing Secrets. Is that right, Laura?
I switched it back to Pontent.
You changed back to Pontent. Okay. All right. So Pontent, and she offers email marketing services and also does a phenomenal job of managing her own Aqua Real business for social media and all the marketing with that. So we have a lot of good information here, a lot of good professional services. So welcome everyone, and let's get started with this. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, go.
Right. So what we're going to talk about today is tools for online marketing. The first webinar we did, we talked about website SEO and service sites and that type, so we won't get into that. What we're going to cover today is the social media marketing, email marketing, and reputation management. We do have another webinar coming up in January. I'm not sure the exact date, but I will go over that at the end of this webinar, covering paid ads and search engine marketing, which Crystal will be our star on that, which is what she specializes in. And without further ado, so one of the things I wanted to share, this was a slide we shared at our previous webinar. It shows how Google breaks down the ranking algorithm. Nobody really knows exactly how Google does it, but this is the best estimates out there. So what we're going to talk about today is your offsite, local, real business information on Google My Business and the hundreds of other websites that actually list your business, and also your social media and how we can help boost your website and your Google rankings through social media. So that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. So what we're covering today is just 10 to 13 and 2 to 5%. So 20% of your online ranking will be covered today in today's topics with everything. Anybody want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's a good rundown.
All righty. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing we're going to talk about today is social media. We're going to cover Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Houzz, and we also are going to cover some TikTok stuff with that today. So questions we're going to ask, we're going to do this more as a roundtable discussion. So I'll kind of lead the discussion and you guys chime in with what you have to say about that. So first question that we get for a lot of people, and one of the questions I asked when we started doing this is, do we really need to do social media? What value does it give us for, what are the benefits and what value does it give for social media? So Amy, you want to go first with that one, or Laura, one of you?
Right. Other than that 2 to 5% you saw, there's a ton of reasons why you should be on social media. I mean, you want to be visible when people look you up. I think especially for outdoor living professionals, that's the number one reason why you should have Facebook, Instagram, or anything, is when people look you up online and they find you on Facebook, that you have something there.
Yep. Laura, anything to add to that?
Know your customers and know your market. So I know some people are, feeling like they should step away from Facebook, but Facebook tends to an older audience, which a lot of our customers are.
Yeah. So the demographic, I was talking to Amy about this before the call, that the demographics for Facebook are right in line with, for lack of a better term, people that have established themselves and have expendable money to spend on things like outdoor living, ponds, landscaping, and things like that. Crystal, have you seen that with your other customers and stuff too, as far as Facebook marketing and using that?
Absolutely. So all your social media, every single one of them also drives your SEO. But you just want to make sure you're posting relevant content. People want to see pictures. You're talking about contractors, people looking at updating and doing things to their home. So these people want to see pictures of your work. and just making sure that the stuff that you're posting, use hashtags a lot. It gets more visibility, and just make sure it's getting engagement. That's the big key. If you're posting stuff that's not getting engagement, it's not really worth your time in posting it. So you want stuff that people want to see, which is pictures of your work.
Right. Okay. So the next topic, we kind of covered the first three there. The one that it's one of my pet peeves, and I see a lot of contractors, especially smaller contractors, doing this, is knowing the difference between your personal Facebook page and your business Facebook page. It just, in my opinion, it looks totally unprofessional to go onto a business page and see pictures of your dog doing something it shouldn't be doing, or something, anything personal thing. I mean, I think it's okay to have fun on your business page, but I don't think you should cross that line between personal and business. What are your thoughts on that?
Now, unless you have a cute puppy like I do that comes to work with you every day, no, I'm just joking, but really, that is the truth. Then no, yeah, it shouldn't cross over. It's I've seen businesses that use their business page to post their religion, and it's just not really what it's for. People
I was
don't
gonna say that.
Yeah, they want to see your work. They don't care about what your beliefs are or anything else that don't have to do with your business. So if it doesn't have to do with your business, you shouldn't be posting it.
Exactly. And I would say politics are another key thing to keep off your Facebook page with something like that. So
now your personal, I believe that if you believe it, you should post it if you want to, and even if you are a business owner. But on your business, just business.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of break script right here a little bit and get your opinions on that. We have, for me, especially where I run two businesses, I have a lot of friends that are quote unquote Facebook friends. We know each other. They're great clients or great customers. But what's your all's opinion on friending customers versus just keeping your friends list to your true friends? What do you think about that?
So the way I do it is, and maybe I'm different than you guys, is I don't post anything about religion or politics anywhere. Even on my personal, I keep my personal, I say kids and kittens, and that's just me. The other thing, if you really want to do that, you can also make a separate Facebook for like Laura Aquareale. And I've noticed Aquascapes, people do this too, where you create a separate persona, but I don't mind friending my clients because I know I have nothing on there that I don't want anyone to see.
Awesome. Amy?
So for me, I'm a big networker, and I do more networking through Facebook than I do LinkedIn. And so I'm a little bit different, and I think everybody can have their own opinion about this. But if you don't like me or want to do business with me because of my personal beliefs, now, just in general, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind with politics on what they believe or religion or what I believe. But if it's something that's important to me that I feel like I want to share, then I'm going to share it to my personal page. And if you accept a friend request from me, or if you friend request me, just be prepared to see my entire life, because I'm going to post it on there. And it's really how I connect with people, because by seeing what's going on in their daily lives, I'm able to, be like, how are your kids? Like, how's that new school going? Or, oh, your new puppy is so cute. It gives me things to engage and conversate about. A lot of people don't like that, and that's okay too. But me, I'm wide open. I'm an open book. I share whatever I feel like in that moment on my personal stuff. And if people don't like it, they don't have to follow me. And I have people who I am friends with that have totally opposite beliefs than I do. And I'm never going to get into an argument or tell them that their stuff that they post, they shouldn't believe or think that way. And I just hope they would have the same respect for me and not do that as well. And if so, we just shouldn't be friends on Facebook, and that's fine too. But I'm an open book, so I find it to really help me network and get to know people.
Amy?
Yeah, I'm probably somewhere in the middle of you two. I'll share what I like.
Which is where you're at on my screen.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be friends with every single person I do business with either. If I would share about it with you in person, you'll probably see it on my Facebook page, but we don't necessarily have to be Facebook friends, and that's okay too.
Yeah. I think
But I have to be your Facebook friend. So.
Well, yeah.
I think for me, especially for H2O Designs, I always accept a friend request coming from a customer, but I never extend a friend request to a customer. So, and that's just kind of my personality, because I'm a lot like Crystal. I do share a lot of stuff on my personal page that people may or may not like. I feel it's important to, we do a lot of screening process and a lot of, we want to do business with customers, and we're blessed enough to have enough phone calls and enough customers that come in that I know through the first couple of meetings that if we're not the same personality or are not going to mesh on a job, then we kind of just be honest with the customer and say, you know, we're probably not going to work out with this. And I feel like that helps helps prevent problems on the job site for me. And I'm not saying that other people should do it that way. I mean, especially if you're you're starting out and trying to get new business, maybe you separate business from personal a little bit until you get to the point to where you can start picking and choosing your customers and doing. Part of the enjoyment for me is I enjoy doing customers that are like-minded, have like beliefs, and so they do become true friends as we go through life with that. Not saying that, you know, I'm not best friends with all my customers. So
no, but I think that's right. Like your best clients, you do have more in common with, and you do kind of think alike. So I think that's great advice.
Yep. So real quick, we've been on this slide for a little bit where we're going through. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, guys, if you do have questions or want us to discuss a topic, post it in the Q&A. We will pause about every 15 or 20 minutes throughout the webinar to answer those questions for you. So
we have a couple things that have popped up already. If you want to just touch on that real quick.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get that. Go ahead.
Yeah, Barbie said, I don't allow our clients to be my friend because then that's how they want to contact us for service instead of calling the office, which is interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for me, I'm very bad about that because I give out my cell phone number and friends, and I do have customers that break that line. I mean, they'll text me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because they're up and they have a light, they walked outside and they have a light out or something like that. And I just ignore it and deal with it the next day. But that does happen. If you're going to share your personal Facebook and share your cell phone number and be that open for your customers, expect them for certain customers not to have that amount of respect for you, because they will cross the line with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And Motel asked, how often should we post on Facebook? So everybody share how often you post on Facebook.
So
Laura,
I believe that you don't have to be as consumed with it and stressed about it as some people get. I think that as long as people are finding relevant content and it's getting engagement, I think 2 to 3 times per week is plenty. However, if you're posting more and you're getting lots of engagement and you put yourself out there, I think the more the merrier. But I just believe that businesses shouldn't stress about not having the right post at the right time, because really people are going there to check you and to see that you're relevant, you have pictures, that you have good work you're showing, and those sorts of things. So they're not going to go back months and months. They're just going to look at the last few posts and want to see that they're recent.
Okay.
yeah, I
Laura?
think that's great.
Laura, okay. I will defer that, as I don't post on Facebook. Amy does all that for us. So
We post about 4 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But like Crystal was saying, we really don't stress the numbers so much as long as it looks great and shares what we're doing, then.
okay.
We also do a theme every day, Maintenance Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Waterfall Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Fish Friday.
I think that's
easy.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and it adds a little bit of fun to your post too, I think, for something like that. So
one piece of advice though is don't get overwhelmed with it. And if you can't do it and you're not a social media guru, hire someone, just like you do your taxes, just like somebody else, hires you. So that's a big piece of it.
Okay. One last question, and we're probably answering a lot of questions later in the webinar. So I know we're spending a lot of time up front here, but I really think this is important to just have a conversation around these topics. So what have you found that gets more engagement, gets more followers versus not getting more followers? Is it a trial and error type thing? What's some advice you could give to people as far as getting something like that? And we can start with Laura on this one.
We ask questions. Questions are a great way to engage with people, even a vote on which one is best, or just what do you think of this? And I have found that's a great way to get more engagement.
Okay.
Or when we're funny.
Well, the rules of engagement have kind of changed a little bit. So engagement used to be leave a comment, make sure they're liking and hearting, which are all still really good signs of engagement. But Sometimes now it can just be as simple as watching your video for longer than 3 seconds. So we want to make sure people are looking at the things that we're sharing, and you can see those metrics, especially on Facebook. It's really easy to see. Did a lot of people look at this? Why did they like this better than something else? And so it's kind of easy to gauge just by using the metrics that Facebook itself gives you.
Yeah, I would like to answer this anonymous question here. Should I link pages from my website on social media posts, and does it help? Absolutely. So social media is a huge part of driving traffic to your website to get people to convert and see more of what you do. So yes, always post a link to your website. If you're referring to something from your website, you should be referring people back to it.
Yeah, that goes back since we've been doing, I've always preached that since Facebook began, that you get, and you will see two things happen when you post links to your website. Number one, you'll see a boost in your website search results over time, but sometimes you will actually see that post show up in the search results because you've linked into that to website and it has a topic on there. So the Facebook posts do get indexed. They don't get indexed as much as they used to, but it still happens some with that. So, all right. So linking in your Instagram account with your Facebook. Talk a little bit around that, guys, because I didn't realize this, but Amy was talking about it. You can kill two birds with one stone with this and be really efficient with that. So who wants to start with that?
If you have one, you should definitely have the other. There's no reason to be sharing information on one of these places when you could very simply share it to both. So if you have an Instagram and it's not connected to your Facebook page, it really is very simple to do. Get into your Facebook and it'll basically walk you through it. You can even schedule out posts from the Facebook native scheduler. Meta now makes it super easy to share things in advance without having to jump through hoops anymore. It's a good thing to have both.
Good. Anybody else?
I love MetaSuite. I like that it even gives you suggestions on the best time to post. And you can post so that stuff goes out at the same time, or you can schedule that it goes out Facebook, Instagram at different times.
Yeah, something else to consider for this industry is back to what Amy was saying about linking your Facebook and your Instagram. Instagram is built on pictures. So the idea and concept behind Instagram when it was started was to be like a photography kind of place. So if you will use hashtags, people follow Instagram hashtags when they're thinking about doing home improvements, the same way that they follow Pinterest stuff. So I'm sure every contractor has had some woman show them their Pinterest account of all the things that they want their backyard to look like. Right. And so they're also now, even for pools and stuff, they're following those landscape design, things like that, those hashtags. So when you hashtag those higher followed hashtags on Instagram, you're likely going to get more traffic to people who don't follow you already, or from people who don't follow you.
So yeah, and I may be jumping ahead with this, but one thing while we're talking about this page is sort of goes over everything that we talked about as far as what you should be posting and posting tips. For landscapers, for myself, for the outdoor industry, it's really, really hard to remember to take pictures of a project when you're finished. That's one of the biggest battles we battle with our guys and with myself as well, because if you're out there, you're either trying to get done by the end of the day and you're cleaning everything up and you get 20 minutes down the road, and you're like, oh crap, I didn't send Amy some pictures of the finished project, or I didn't do this. One of the things that we do is we make a point to schedule follow-ups of our projects. If it's a big project, we'll do a project showcase on it. If it's a small project, we'll try to get either Amy or Hannah or both of them by to the project especially in the springtime when the flowers are blooming and early summer, to get some good finished product pictures and things like that. Because for us, when we're talking to potential customers, they'll be like, oh, I saw this picture on Facebook and I want exactly this. Well, I have to go back and try to find it. But I know that Facebook and Instagram is bringing in customers because they can. It's your portfolio. They're using it as your portfolio and researching you for that. So I think it's very important for especially for small landscape companies that doesn't have a team backing them, to make absolutely sure that either your guys or yourself are taking pictures of your work and sharing with everybody, not just keeping it on your phone fun with
Yeah,
that.
and I know that none of you all are going to say this. So I'm going to add this in just as a shout out to you all because of all of your all's background in this hardscape, ponds, landscape industry. You all provide so many pictures that aren't considered stock photos that Google would look at as stock, and videos and stuff for clients to be able to utilize some of that stuff, which makes their life a lot easier. And that's what I love about you all in this industry as well. But something else is the reels. Reels are huge right now on Facebook. They really are allowing a lot more people to see your all stuff too. So the same with Instagram, those videos. And Jeff, you and your team, you all do a wonderful job with videos too.
Thank you. Thank you. Not to beat a dead horse here, but one thing that to new landscapers starting off, new pond people starting off, and we always recommend this for people, is it's okay to share one of our projects or one of another colleague's project. Get permission from them, obviously, but if you share their project on your screen, if something you haven't done before, I'll do this sometimes. I'll share either on my personal page or on the Facebook page. Hey, somebody did this cool water feature that I hadn't thought about doing a style like that or something, or here's a patio. If you can do the work that's comparable to that, it's okay to share that person's work on your screen, and you're not marking it. You're saying, look at what my colleague did in New Jersey or California or Texas or whatever, but it's still content on your screen, and people are going to see that and say, oh, well, you're my local guy to do the same type of work, and you can get your foot in the door that way as well, especially if you're a new company that doesn't have a lot of jobs out there in the ground. Okay. All right. So here is we're going to have a lot of different opinions on this in this board, I think. We do have a question up there, Amy. Was that relevant?
Let me see. Sorry.
Before we went to YouTube.
One-off question: when posting to Instagram from Apple Photos, not in the Instagram app, it doesn't push to Facebook. Do you know if that's a setting? I don't.
So if you're just going into your photo log, it's only going to post to one or the other. Just like if you were sharing it via text to someone, you're better off to actually open Instagram, let Instagram go to your Apple Photos and pull that picture, then it'll go to both.
So pull it in, don't push it to it. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yes, correct.
All right, cool. All right, so vlogging. What is a vlog and vlogging? I'm gonna start this off with my opinion of it. I think that vlogging is I think vlogging, and what did you call it, Amy? Video sharing, video log versus sharing video. Is that what you said? Something like that. Anyway, in my mind, vlogging is a way more involved and takes a lot more time to do, and basically is edited and that type of thing versus just sharing videos with that. I think for smaller companies, I think sometimes they get overwhelmed with some of these larger companies doing huge vlogs. I know Aquascape does a lot of vlogging. They really push it to everybody. We don't do, I would say that we don't do vlogging. We do more of project showcases, which I guess by default is vlogging, Amy.
Like technically, I mean, it's a longer form edited piece of content. We do one of those a month, one longer form video.
And it takes a ton. I mean, we have an employee handed us all of our video editing, and it takes her hours to put together a 3 to 5 minute video. If you don't have somebody in house to do that, you're going to pay some serious bucks to have that done. So I would, my suggestion, my advice for this, and I'll turn it over to you guys for your opinion, is if you're thinking about vlogging, talk to somebody that really vlogs, talk to one of these influencers out there that want to do that, and do it right. Do it right. Don't just halfway do it with that. So I'll let any one of y'all go from there.
You know, I always have an opinion, Jeff.
Right.
So I would consider some of your really nice videos that you do promotional work. I would not consider all of those vlogging. So vlogging is the same thing, in my opinion, as blogging. So it's text, just like blogging is you're writing, 1,500 words out, sharing your opinion or a project or whatever it is, trying to educate other people on it. Well, to me, blogging's the same, except you're not writing it out. You're actually videoing it, and it can be as simple as a reel. Post it to your YouTube, post it to your Instagram reels, your Facebook reels, your TikTok, your Snapchat, And then all of those also, of course, I will always say this, I'm an SEO person, those all help with your SEO if you put the written words with it. So you always have a description or a comment place or somewhere to write. And so you can tie all of that into your SEO by writing a short summary about what it was, adding those keywords and stuff into the description or the title, wherever you're posting it at, if that makes sense. But a lot of contractors that I work with that don't know how to edit, don't know how to do that stuff, but they can like make a TikTok or something to that nature that's easy on their phone through social media. I recommend that they get like a yard sign or a promotional piece. They could have like, this is a realtor, but they could just have something that they put in the video, or their shirt has their name and logo on it, or something like that to brand it if they don't know how to like come back and overlay their logo and, you know, all those sorts of things. So that's
Gotcha.
just my opinion. Everybody kind of has their own.
Yep. Amy or Laura?
The one thing I want to add is do a lot. If you do vlog and you spend all that time and effort and money, put it everywhere. And for most of my clients, if they have vlogs, well, all my clients that have vlogs, we send that out via email every week along with their tip. And that's a great way, because one of the things with YouTube is you can't follow everyone everywhere and you're going to miss some stuff. So if you're also emailing the vlogs to people, you're just going to get more people looking.
Yeah.
Laura, you're so right. So many businesses forget about all the contacts that they already have, and those newsletters and staying in touch with people that way is super important.
Amy, anything to add?
You all got it covered.
All righty. So I would say one of the things that I personally like coming from a web development perspective, using YouTube to house your videos and then sharing that video on Facebook. It makes it super easy to in turn take that video and put it into your Facebook page or your website page as well. And you can do like a video portfolio on your website for people that show up there. And again, like Laura was saying, you can spread it out. If you're going to take the time and money to do a video, then you want to put it everywhere where people can see it, and not just leave it stuffed in the closet there. All
If you're
right.
going to share it to Facebook, you should upload it directly to Facebook, in my opinion. But you definitely should have YouTube for housing your videos for your website and for your emails. It makes it very easy to send out an email as well.
Yeah, because all of those posts go back to SEO. And when you on your website, putting them on YouTube, make sure website not as heavy, so it keeps those load times and stuff where they're supposed to be.
Awesome. Good advice. All right. This is a topic that I know absolutely nothing about. I don't do TikTok. I don't have it on my phone. So you all have at this. I know it's a thing, but I know it's a real big thing with the younger generation, and it's a fun thing. But how do we use TikTok, or should we be using TikTok for business purposes?
Yes.
If
So-
you're up for it, I think TikTok is awesome. It's a lot of fun, and it can be very useful for reaching new clientele. Things to consider. Are you reaching people in your local area? Do you want to be an influencer, or do you want to be a pond builder or an outdoor living professional? So if you're going to be spending a lot of time on TikTok, make sure you're reaching the people you need to reach. You can do that through hashtags. I think TikTok does hashtags. Is that right, Crystal? You probably know better than me about hashtags.
Yeah.
But
So so I'll tell you a little real quick story about a contractor who was in the woodworking industry. And he got on TikTok and Instagram and started making reels and TikTok videos of his work and how he was doing it and stuff. Well, a year later, he doesn't do any woodworking anymore. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube all pay him 6 figures a year to just make them video. And on top of those companies paying him now, so now he does his own jobs or jobs for like friends and family just to get a video. And all the major tool companies that he was using their tools send him free tools, have him make videos, and pay him additional money, sometimes $20,000 or $30,000 for his videos of using their tools on projects that he's literally making up because he does no more customer work anymore.
Well, I
So
need to get on TikTok then.
there is a lot
Yeah,
of
that
money
sounds
to
like
be a digital creator.
that sounds
So
a lot more fun than packing rocks.
I know, right? But you still got to pack rocks because you got to make those videos.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, but
That's awesome.
hashtags are also big on that as well. And once you become an influencer, like Amy was talking about, if you become an influencer on there and you do really well with it, and people are just looking for emotion, like just natural stuff. They're not looking for things to look like they were, faked or something. Keep that in mind. Do you want to be an influencer, or do you just want to post content? And if you're just wanting to post content for the SEO value and for people to find, hashtag your area and stuff as well. So back to what Amy was saying in the beginning.
Laura?
The only thing to add to that is I have heard and seen that TikTok is great for getting employees, because those are the people watching TikTok is the younger employees. So if you make your videos fun and look like a great place to work, people are going to see that and possibly reach out to you.
Awesome.
That's a great point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a question in my mind and it totally went out of it. So I'll probably think of it when we get 3 slides down the road here.
Or tonight.
Or tonight. I think that I think for somebody like myself that's a little bit older, it kills me saying that. I think for younger people that are in their 20s and are familiar with the platform, and I think it's a good way, honestly, from what I'm hearing, what I've seen, for people to have fun at work, which in turn, if you're an employer and you give these 20 to 30-year-old employees the flexibility to create TikTok and have a little fun with their job and do that, you're going to make a more pleasant work environment and have a more enjoyable happier employees. And I think that's a good way to create morale in the company or something, and also gain some value for your business as well. So I would see that as a benefit as a business owner. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Google My Business. So this is something that Google's really pushed in the last 2 years, year and a half. It's they've made more space available on the search engines for the Google My Business stuff. For your Google My Business thing, I see a lot of companies that have a Google My Business and it's just stagnant. There's 3 pictures there, 4 reviews, which we'll talk about review management and getting reviews here a little bit later in the thing. But so what are some advice that you have as far as setting up, managing, and how often should you be updating and that type of stuff for your Google My Business page? And anybody can go.
I'll answer it. So Google My Business just recently changed its name to Google Maps. It was Google Maps, and then it was Google Plus, and they were trying to create a business social profile, and then it went to Google My Business, and now it's Google Maps again. And you can just literally type in Google My Business so that you can figure out how to set yours up, or you can go and find your profile and claim it there as well. But this is so important. This is a huge part of SEO. You have separate metrics that come along with this. There's so many places to insert keywords throughout descriptions and services you offer. If you don't have a storefront, you just want to put in the service area that you cover. That's great. You can actually make posts that stay up for a week. You can add promotions and coupons, and people can book appointments. They can message you and chat you through there now. It is the quickest way to have SEO for your name, for your business to populate the fastest. Your Google Map listings. So the first 4 listings in any search is going to be a paid ad search. And then after that is going to show all your Google My Business listings, because it wants to deliver local first to people. And then it's going to be your regular SEO organic listings on a search engine.
Amy or Laura, anything to add?
Yeah, we definitely take advantage of the posting weekly to Google My Business. It keeps you fresh on there. So everybody, when they search you on Google, they can see kind of what you're doing right now. So that's something that we encourage everybody to do, and that is free and easy.
Yeah, and all your pictures too. Make sure you post lots of pictures, because people do go there and look.
Yeah, I know from a website perspective, and having customers, we've had customers that signed up with websites for us in the past, and when we released their website, we've had trouble getting them listed on page 1, which was a huge thing we offer to people. And when I start digging into the SEO, I'll look and they'll either have a Google My Business that's pointed at a old domain they had 6 years ago, not updated, or they won't have a Google My Business at all. And having that Google My Business linked into your current website is night and day as far as getting on page one and getting listed for customers to see. So I mean, I think having a Google My Business page and keeping up to date is a non-negotiable in business nowadays.
Yeah, and really your testimonials, that's where those should go at this point in time too. That's the way you can outrank your competitors, is by having more reviews than what they have. And yes, everybody's going to get some negative reviews sometimes, but just let the impouring of good reviews outweigh any bad reviews that you have. And it shows you're relevant and you're real. We all make mistakes. We all have bad reviews too. So it happens, and don't be afraid of that. And you should really plug in your Google My Business to your website, whether it's for directions or reviews. But when you link the two of those together properly, it also enhances it's another value in SEO.
Yep. I'm going to break away from the slide real quick and kind of show you our Google My Business so that people can see how go away. There we go. Maybe. No. Bear with me here, guys. Okay. So can you all see my screen here with the HO Designs Google My Business? Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got all of your alls. I don't know. Here we go. You all were covering up where I can talk there. So one of the things that's really important, like Crystal was saying, is your photos, making sure you have relevant photos and keeping those up to date. Scrolling down, having lots of Google reviews really helps you show up. Having accurate information as far as your address, your hours. If you don't have a retail store, still put hours there so that people know when to call you and when not to call you. It kind of, so one of the things we do with all of ours as well is under the products, we list every product that we offer and we give it a price range. So people looking for our services know that if they want a pond maintenance, it starts at $500. If they want a landscape fountain, it starts at $3,500. So that's a good way to, in my opinion, to limit the tire kickers, if you will, especially if you get a lot of phone calls and stuff like that. Also, if you scroll down, we have a very detailed description that links back to our website. These are our posts that Amy does for us as far as they say it for, what'd you say, 6 days, Crystal, something like that?
I think
A
it's
week.
6 or 7 a week. Yeah.
7 days.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Until you post again.
yeah, having a good Google My Business really does help you show up above your competitors and with that. So I really like just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, and if I show. All right, we're back on this now. Anything to add on that, Laura? I'm sure you're always Google My Business is similar because you work on that as well for that. But I would say paying attention to that is the number one thing that you need to do as a business. If you're not doing it now,
Yeah.
even
And if you're a new business and you can't afford a website and you can't afford someone to help you with stuff, that is the place to start. Like,
Absolutely.
that is absolutely the first place for you to start to get found online. I have businesses call me all the time and they're like, we're just new, we're a startup, we're going to do this on the side, we don't have a lot of money, what can we do? And I always refer them, just get a free Google My Business listing and literally fill in every blank you can.
the purpose of this webinar, if you're a new business and you don't have the budget to go into a website, paid ads and that type of stuff, or hire somebody to help you with this stuff, I would say Facebook and Google My Business are the two easiest low-hanging fruit places that you can get found online and really boost your business. Because if you're not working at something like that, you're not going to have the money down the road to move forward and pay somebody to do that and be able to do what you want to do with that. Okay. All righty. So this is Crystal and Laura's realm. So I will Laura, let you start off with email marketing. Why should we do it? How should we do it? That type of thing. Why is it important?
So my big 2 pieces of advice with this is, number 1, reach out to everyone, not just existing clients, but anyone that's ever contacted you. So most of my clients don't do that till I suggest it to them and they're, oh, I don't write down people. Write it down. It takes 2 seconds.
Mhm.
And then if you do them in a CRM, like we use Less Annoying CRM still, and you could push a button and it syncs seamlessly with MailChimp.
Yes.
For people that use Jobber and other things, you can download the emails every month and then upload them to MailChimp. But people make a huge mistake of assuming it should just be for their current customers. And we've had people that have gotten our tips for like 5 years before they reach out and they're ready. So my second piece of big advice on there is don't make it sales oriented, make it information oriented. People are really, if you just make it sale, we're special. No, people are going to get tired of that. We have people all the time tell us they love our tips. They love how informative they are. And that doesn't, we do promote seasonal services as well. It's time, and that's more even that we're like, have you scheduled your fall cleanup yet? And then the reason is because of this, and this. So we make everything informative and not sales oriented.
What frequency do you recommend as far as emails go?
We do once a week, weekly tips, and then once a month newsletter. And the newsletter has more stories. And we put vlogs. If someone has a vlog they do weekly, it goes in their tip every week.
Right.
But blogs with a B are a great thing to add to your monthly emails when we do before and after pictures, things like that. And blogs are a wonderful way to get people back to your website.
Okay. Crystal?
Yeah, I would agree with everything Laura says. So many people just forget that they're going to trade shows. They're doing this stuff and collecting this information. Like, why not utilize it? If these people don't want to get your email, they'll remove themselves from your list. So
yeah,
and don't let that hurt your feelings. It just means
it always does though.
Does it? Yeah. Well,
just my content one. I don't care the Aqua Reality one. I don't take it personally, but I know most of the content people, and I'm always like, that was mean,
I know. I have a friend actually who removed herself from one of my business's email lists, but then I was giving away a free something and she reached out and I didn't respond.
So be careful when you cancel emails. You might want free stuff, right?
Yeah, right. But back to that, I think one of the big things is it is hard to put these emails together. So a tip that I would say is if they're relatively really inexpensive to hire a professional to do those. Laura, I know, is great at those. But also the frequency that you said, you don't want to inundate people's inboxes. So that, like you said, the tips weekly and the one newsletter a month and it not being salesy and educational. I agree 100% with all of that, especially in this industry, because you all aren't trying to give some promotion all the time. You're not most of you aren't retail, but if you do have seasonal retail stuff that is on sale, then of course, yes, you can promote that too. I've seen even some like greenhouses and stuff, they give tips on when to bring your indoor plants in. And, there's just so many different topics on things you can, and sometimes the emails that I get are almost reminders because they're about things I've signed up for that I'm interested in. And again, if it's stuff I'm not interested in, then I will remove myself from the email. And it's not to hurt anyone's feelings. It's just that we all get a lot of that kind of stuff. But also think about on your website how you can get more people to sign up for your emails and newsletters and things. And whatever it is, you want to give something back for it. So like Laura was saying, the tips, that's important, the educational piece, but you just want to make it somehow, trendy or catchy so that people want to sign up for what you're giving for it. And that's also a way to, and there's a program also out there called Zapier that you can get any way that you get all of these different leads and people populated through any CRM, your website, if you have a Google sheet or whatever it is, and you can tie them all into one place. But yeah, send it to all of them. It doesn't just have to be customers, because it could be somebody that contacted you a year ago for a quote. You get them in that list and maybe something happened and they really didn't have the money, but then it triggers something and they're like, oh, I do need to do that. I have the money again. Or maybe they didn't have the money and didn't want to tell you, but they saved it up at this point. And you want to remain top of mind to them too.
Yeah.
And I have two other quick things to add.
Yes.
One is make it look nice. Like we actually have a designer on staff for content that creates the templates for every email so that they look really professional.
Mm-hmm.
Along with that, there's someone recently that ended up not hiring me and doing it themselves. And they literally write paragraphs of information in like single like it's like this much. And you're just like, no one, like who's gonna
Nobody
read that?
reads
Like I chunk everything out. It's little chunks of information in large fonts.
Yeah.
And along with that, the second piece of advice I have is read everything out loud to yourself. You cannot believe how many errors you find when and typos that you just don't see. And when you're reading it out loud, you catch them.
You do not personally want me to write your email, so that would not be good. I do not take the time to do that.
Amy, anything to add on that?
Oh, just another tip, if you are looking for something simple to get emails into your customers' hands, something that I do is I connect my Instagram to my MailChimp. It's so easy. You don't have to download and upload photos. You can reuse the same photos you used for social this week with just literally the click of a button. It makes things very, very easy for us when we're sending out our weekly emails.
Cool. Yeah, and one thing we do with Show Designs is anytime somebody calls in, anytime somebody comes in the store, anybody fills out a form, we make a point to get their name, phone number, and email. We try to make a point of it, and that puts them on the list. And like you all were saying, I've seen customers that have came back 2 or 3 years down the road that I mean, some of them have saved money for 2 years to get a water feature. They come back and say, I finally saved enough money to do this, and this is what they'll tell you what to do. And those are the good customers to have. They really appreciate what you're doing, and you want to do a great job for them. But I think keeping in touch with even customers people that you think are never going to buy anything from you is really important. You can't prejudge people because they'll find a way to save the money for that. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Online reputation. So there's a lot of buzz around. I think everything we do is online is part of your reputation. If you can be found online, even your personal Facebook, your business Facebook, Google My Business, all of it, your website. So everything that you do online is part of your online reputation. So I think a lot of forget that, especially from a business standpoint of especially keeping fresh content and images across different platforms and making a conscious effort on a rainy day to go in and check everything and make sure that things go along with that. I mean, there's not a whole lot to add to that. Anybody want to add anything to your online reputation? We're going to kind of go into review management and that type of stuff in the next slides. Okay. All right. So listing services. This is something that Crystal actually led us on to when we started doing paid advertising with her, and something that Amy offers through her services, and also we do for Show Design. So I'll let you two talk about listing management, why it's important, and kind of go a brief overview of what that entails.
I got just a few things to say about it. Basically, businesses with complete optimized location listings receive 52% more clicks from local search, and that is not my statistic. That is the internet statistic. That is what it is. And this basically is what helps your information stay consistent across all these different platforms: Google Maps, Apple Maps, Alexa, Bing, whatever you name it. If you want to show up the same way online across all of these different platforms, then listings management is the way to go. We update it once, and it copies to all of these different places online. It makes it very consistent with no errors, especially if you've had a move in location, or you change your phone number, you change your business hours. Those are things that if you don't have a management service like this, you're going to have to go and find yourself on all of these different places online to update that information, and that gets really difficult really quickly. So we've seen it makes a big difference in the way you appear online.
Yeah.
Chris,
And the only thing that I would add to that is just that it's so time consuming to go in and try to update and change every single one of those. And like to figure out your yellow pages and your Yext and all of that, like it is literally a nightmare. And that is a very inexpensive cost to let someone like Amy do that for you all. If you've ever tried to update your little dot on Apple Maps, oh my word, you talk about you've lost a whole day's worth of business.
And there are websites that you've never even heard of. I mean, things you've never even heard of that share your information online. So and they all get changed at the same time. So it makes it great.
Yeah, and it's really when we started using this 4 or 5 years ago, it was eye-opening to see I mean, we've been in business since 2005, and it was eye-opening to see some of the stuff from 2007, 2008 that was still out there incorrectly, from phone numbers to location to hours. And it was like, it's just eye-opening to think that, because every one of these places, they troll your information online, they grab your information, they post it, and then they want to upgrade you to a paid service like Angie's List and all these things. And it's whether you like it or not, these people, they grab your information and they post it out there. So keeping it accurate is very important, I think.
Yeah, this keeps you in control of it.
Yes. Okay. All righty. Google reviews and Facebook reviews. I think this is one of the most overlooked, hardest things for any landscape contractor business to do on a consistent basis with that. We'll talk about some apps that are out there to do it. We'll talk about services to help you do it. But these were interesting statistics, and I think this is absolutely true. And I know this is true coming from a sales person's perspective, is when I talk to people, when people call into H2O Designs and want something done, 95% of the time they've already researched this online. They've been to our website. They'll even recite our process on our website, or you can just tell that they've done their research before they make the phone call. So 85% of consumers perform some form of online search. 93% of consumers read online reviews before making a purchase or hiring a service. So I found myself doing that. I didn't used to do that, but I found myself doing that more when I'm buying a product or even hiring somebody and stuff like that. So with that, so let's talk about review management, how to get reviews as a small business. And there's different levels that you can do this. And I'll let you expand on this, but I want to talk about these three topics in particular. Number one is you can do it yourself. You can say, hey, hand them a postcard. Hey, give me a Google review. You can even send them an email manually yourself. If you're a contractor, you're going to ask one time and be done, and you're not going to get very many reviews. There's softwares and apps out there like Nice Job and a couple other, what was another one I saw the other day, where you can go in and set up your account and either tie it into a CRM and or have a manual process where you load that person into there. Sometimes those are really easy to set up. Sometimes they are a pain in the butt to set up. Again, it's a matter of how much time you have. And then there's business people like Amy that actually offers and the offers to handle all that for you. You say, hey, I want this set up and this is how I want it done. And you do that stuff. So let's talk about the different levels and where you all think that a business should be at according to what they're doing and spending their time on with that. So who wants to start with that? Amy?
Sorry.
I went over a lot right there, but I want to expand into this because I think a lot of people overlook and Crystal mentioned this earlier, the more reviews you have, the more people are going to trust you, and also the higher you're going to rank in on Google with that. So I think this is one of the most important things that businesses can do for their company.
Google reviews are, go ahead.
No, you go. Google wants to rank you based on relevancy, and one of the things that they call relevant is consumer reviews. Okay, so there's certain people out there that hold a higher standard to Google because they've given more reviews to businesses in an area, and so they actually give them like a tag or like an actual like little star that goes with their name. It's tied to their email address, and they really work hard to make sure people aren't getting like wrong reviews for their business, and they they don't want businesses to be harmed in any way for this, but it's all about delivering that relevant content to the consumer who's making a search, and they want your local business to come up and not just, national companies or national retailers like it used to be. You get on the internet and everybody national comes up, but local businesses didn't. So that's been a big thing for Google. And again, I will say this, you'll hear me in all these webinars saying that all your social media, all your reviews, all tie back to a portion of your SEO. And so the more engagement you get, the more reviews you get and all of those sorts of things. And you need to answer those reviews. So a lot of times you get a review and those go left unanswered, and it kind of looks rude. Think if that person called you on the phone and they were like, hey, thank you, you did such a great job. Well, you're going to respond and, say thank you back. Or if you got a referral from somebody, it's kind of the same thing. You want to reach back out and say thanks. And if if it's a review that is not for your business, like I've heard this often, people get a review and they're like, it was a bad review, but it's not for my business. This was never my customer. Well, you can report that to Google as well. And you can actually just go on there yourself and say, I'm really sorry you had a bad experience somewhere, but that experience wasn't with my business. You're not one of my customers. Or if they are your customer and it's a bad review, the best thing to do is to get it off the internet, offer them your name, a contact for you, tell them you'd love to speak to them and help them. And then if they keep going on about you online, it just makes them look trashy anyway. So just move on with that and just try to get it offline if it's bad. But ultimately, we're all human. There's going to be some bad reviews too. And so people are just looking for and you know that too. You've bought stuff on Amazon and you go on there and you read it and you read some bad reviews and you're like, I'm going to buy it anyways, because they probably didn't know how to put something together, or they didn't know how to use a screwdriver.
Right.
You know, like, so you just have to be open-minded to it, but it is going to be a huge enhancement for you. And it is hard, like Jeff said, to follow up with these people and ask for it. One thing you could do, you could have it easily on your website so that you can just go click it from your phone and text it to somebody. Or you can have someone like Amy come in who has software that will automatically tie into your CRM, and you can tell it when basically you want it to send these. The most people, unless it's coming to their phone in some way, and you know, they might be in the middle of something and might forget. So Amy can set it up to where it sets reminders, it sends it at certain times of day, and all of those sorts of things that is very beneficial. But I will tell you, I have, out of the hundreds and hundreds of clients I've ever dealt with, I have never seen a customer climb in their reviews in a way that is really going to help them faster than the people that use a company like what Amy provides. But you can do it on your own. And if you do, just make it to where you can copy that link form and send it to them super easy for them to get to when you ask for it. But you need to be consistent and ask them to do it again. I can't tell you how many times I've asked Jeff for a review and he never gives me one because I know he's busy.
I always send it to Amy, so.
That is not my fault.
One of the things I'll add to that too, that and I'll brag on Amy a little bit, because coming from an H2O Designs perspective, I managed our reviews up until Amy took it over for us and started doing the process, using the software that she uses and processing that. It was really hard for me to, if we did get a bad review, which we don't get very many of them, but what triggered me is when we did get a bad review, you know, we only had 8 or 9 reviews to hide that bad review. And then the more, it's like you said, the more you try to take it offline, the person keeps engaging, they just make themselves look bad on that, and people will ignore that. And the big thing to do also that a management company will do for you, that if you buy an app to do it for you, and you have to remember to do is like Crystal said, responding to positive reviews. You have to go in and say thank you for the review, is glad to do that, and people will see that, and they'll pick you over another company that doesn't respond to reviews, even if you have more, because they see that you're responsive, you care about your customers, and that goes a long way to people hiring you.
Let's add 2 more things to that on that topic. Is buying reviews. There are companies out there that will buy you reviews. Amy, what do you think about that? Because I'm just not
Gross.
for that at all. Yeah, I think it's gross too. And they're typically, at some point, Google picks up on that, and they realize if you're getting a bunch of reviews in the same day that say the same thing, and your review should say something about your service, like that you built a pond for them, or that you did great landscape design work. It shouldn't just, you want people to engage and not just be like, Crystal did a great job. Well, that doesn't help my SEO. So thank you. I love building your website for you. You were a great client. You know, so even if they don't put the keywords in, when you respond, make sure you put those keywords back in, but never pay for reviews. That's just gross.
Yep. Laura, anything to add? Brad, one more thing.
Just the worst review we ever got was someone that we built 2 ponds for, and he literally gave us 2 stars, 1 for each pond. Like, and he's like, I love Aquarela, you guys are awesome, best company ever. I'm like, oh my God, dude, like what? And he's like, well, 2 stars because you did. Just like, thanks.
Yeah, right. I would say, going back to a brand new company, a company that does have a good way of setting it up. It's okay. So when you set up your Google My Business, it's okay to email your friends and colleagues to get that initial set of
Yeah.
8 to 10 reviews. Like you said, Crystal, don't make it a habit of trying to get 80 reviews from your friends and colleagues, but get that your foot in the door, if you will, with 5 or 6 reviews, because nothing looks worse to a customer when they go to your Google profile and you have 1 or 2 reviews. You want to try to get 8 or 10 and then do it with customers from there to kind of build yourself up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
don't feel bad about that either, because you can have them, they can like talk to your character, like they can say, Jeff's a great guy. He's been, in this industry or whatever, but they can just talk to your character. They don't have to lie and say you did work for them.
Right. Okay, so this is the grand finale. We're at 1 o'clock, so we'll wrap this up pretty soon. Sorry everybody for going over. If you have any questions you want us to answer at the end, please go ahead and post them in there. Let's talk about obviously Laura and Amy both offer these services. Crystal offers a lot of services as well. And I think this applies to everything you do as a business, from accounting all the way through marketing, all the way through a lot of different things. So these are the 3 things that I wrote down on both sides, and I want to have a discussion around that. So if you want to DIY, you have plenty of time on your hands, which all contractors do. You're just getting started, have a limited budget. That's a real scenario. You're proficient in writing content and SEO, which most contractors are, right? When to hire a professional is the exact opposite of that. You're busy with your core business. You want to grow your business. You're ready to take your business to the next level, and you want to spend time with your family and friends versus sitting down and writing blogs and responding to stuff you get home. Most time in the summertime, most contractors, whether you're in sales or you're actually out doing the work, you're getting home at 7 or 8 o'clock at night in the summer, and you really don't want to sit down in front of the computer and do things. So let's talk through that to wrap everything up, and then see what happens. So who wants to start? I'll start with Laura.
And like Jeff just I had something in my head and it went shoo right out the window.
I don't write it down, I forget it.
Oh, I remember. Okay. So sometimes I know people that write all their tips in the winter. And the problem with that is weather changes. So all of a sudden you're right, if you're and schedule them all in the winter. And then like in the summer, they're like, oh, dry spell got you down. It's been raining for 2 weeks. So if you are going to do them in advance, check them every week before you send them out to make sure they're still relevant to what's going on around you.
I would say the same applies to Facebook posts as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Amy?
I don't know.
You can skip. I always make fun of Rachel at the dinner table, because we'll sit down and she goes, Skip. I'm like, well, your name Skips now, so we'll start calling you at the dinner table. We got to eat. So Crystal, anything to add to that?
No, I think that's really great. If you don't have time for it and you're wanting to grow your business and you're not new, all of those things, it just is what it is. You hire a CPA to do your bookkeeping at a certain point in your business. Like there's just a certain point in your business in general for any business owner that you can't do it all. You have to hire it out.
Right.
And I will tell you that in the marketing realm and industry, hiring someone internally to do all of this is going to cost you far more money for them to do it right than to hire it out, because there's so many softwares we pay for, a license, plugins, like all the stuff that all three of us build and offer, all comes with multiple softwares and stuff that we have to pay for, and trainings and this stuff. It's not easy to keep up with. It is a full-time job. So unless you're trying to be a marketer yourself, I would highly suggest that when you can afford to sub it out, and if nothing else, if you're just thinking about it, get a quote for it so that you can figure out when you can fit it into your budget. Because a lot of these things that that seem super easy, it's just that they're tedious, and the time and effort and energy that you're going to lose from being out selling or managing your crew or whatever that is just isn't worth it for you.
I had a customer, I first got started, was I was on every job, and for a long time actually, and he was a car salesman. He was an okay guy, but he's very, very overbearing. He's like, so how are you making money? I'm like, I'm here working. He goes, no, you're not. As long as you're here working and not selling, you're not making money. You're not marketing your business. You're not doing whatever you need to be doing. And I think the same applies. We and I think over time your company and your personality changes. I have a customer that we've tried to do their website for years, and they enjoy doing their website, and they actually do a really good job of it as far as the SEO. They take all our tips and stuff and they apply it, and they love doing it. But it comes a point in their life to where they last year they were like, okay, we're thinking about turning our website over to you guys and letting you do it. And I was in the same boat. I did our website up until what, last year,
I was
Crystal?
going to say, I think I know this guy.
It's actually somebody else, but yeah. So I turned our website over to Crystal's company last year, and it was like it was my baby, because that's what so I think over time and as you progress and as you grow, your priorities change, and like Crystal said, know that people are out there to do what you're doing and know what it costs. That way you can budget for it for the following year. And it looks like we have one more question, and if anybody else wants to add to that.
I would say that all of us are here to give you all free tips too on anything that we possibly can to help you get your business to that point. Because when you are to that point, we all would love to work with you.
Exactly.
And another thing that you can do to grow your business, if you're a newer business, that I highly recommend is networking in your area, networking in your industry. Don't be afraid to get out and get to know other people that do the same thing that you do. Jeff, I know you do that well with other people in your industry, and I think that's huge. I think there's no reason to be scared of your competitors.
No, we have a retail store, and we actually we sell to a lot of contractors, and we'll help anybody out that wants to be helped out. And I think you're just growing. You're creating good karma, number one. In fact, we're in the process of upgrading our retail store and building a new location, and that's one of the things we're going to focus on is selling to contractors and helping contractors to do things. Because I mean, when you get to a point in our business that we're at, we're not threatened by other people. We know what our quality of work is. We know who our customer is. We know that sometimes our style doesn't mesh with another person's style or something like that. So, and I think if everybody took that same philosophy, the whole industry would be a lot better place. In every industry, actually.
Oh yeah, that's just small business in general. We should all be helping each other.
Exactly. It's hard enough to run a small business without trying to fight each other. All righty. So we've talked about websites, we've talked about free marketing tools and how to promote your business online. The last piece of online marketing that we're going to cover is going to be Tuesday, January 17th at 12 o'clock, same time. We will be recording this video as well, guys, and we will be posting a recording of it on our Outdoor Network Services group. If you're not a member of that group, please join us. We also are offering free listings on our services right now. Gives you a chance to be found. Get up on there. We'll have more information with that. So if you're not a member of our group, sign into that. We post tips and tricks, I would say, all the time for that. Next seminar will be utilizing paid ads and search engine marketing, which I can tell you from an H2O Designs perspective was a game changer in our business by hiring Crystal to help us out with that. So you won't want to miss that next webinar. And anybody want to add anything else before we go? Oh, I have one thing left too, Amy. I almost forgot. We skip out here.
Oh yeah, you can get a free online listing in the Outdoor Network Services directory if you just go to outdoor. Is it marketing? What is the website? Marketing.outdoor-services.net.
Yep, I'll post a link to it. Just go to Facebook and search for Outdoor Network Services and join our group, and we have all the information in there for these webinars. Again, it doesn't cost you anything to join the group. Doesn't cost you anything to have a listing with us. Obviously we want you to upgrade to a paid listing, get more SEO out of it, but we believe in getting people's foot in the door and getting them started with it, and same as all you guys, proving our worth as a company that we can help grow your business for that. So all right, that's all I have for today. Anybody have anything else?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and definitely join our Facebook group if you haven't already, and we will. If you missed any of this webinar or whatever, you can see the recorded version there. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Bye, guys.